On January 30th, 1925, Floyd Collins, armed with nothing but a kerosene lantern and a heart full of hope, ventured into the unassuming maw of Sand Cave. It was an exploration driven by ambition, a quest to unveil a hidden chamber that might turn his fortunes. Yet, unknown to Floyd, this journey would etch a harrowing chapter in the records of cave exploration. Born on July 20th, 1887, in the rural tranquility of Logan County, Kentucky, Floyd Collins was the third of 8 children in the Collins family. His life, intimately intertwined with the subterranean wonders of his home, is the story of a man whose destiny was as enigmatic as the caves he so passionately explored. From a young age, Floyd displayed a connection with the underground realms. At the tender age of 6, he embarked on solo expeditions into the caves, driven by a mix of youthful curiosity and a desire to discover Native American artifacts, which he would later sell to tourists at the Mammoth Cave Hotel. This early exposure to the cave's mysterious beauty laid the foundation for his lifelong passion for cave exploring. As Floyd grew, so did his expertise and reputation as a cave explorer. In 1910, he discovered Donkey's Cave on his family's farm, marking the beginning of his journey as a serious explorer. His skill and knowledge of the region's caves caught the attention of geologist Edmund Turner in 1912, leading to their joint discovery of Dawsey's Dome Cave. This partnership further cemented Floyd's status as a prominent figure in the caving community. The year 1915 brought both joy and sorrow to Floyd's life. He was part of the team that discovered Great Onyx Cave, another significant addition to the region's already famous cave systems. However, this year also saw the loss of his mother to tuberculosis, a personal tragedy that deeply affected him. Floyd's most significant discovery came in 1917 when he stumbled upon what he would later name the Great Crystal Cave. Located in the Flint Ridge Cave System, this cave was a marvel of nature, adorned with stunning crystal formations that promised great potential as a tourist attraction. Floyd and his father, Leonidas Lee Collins, quickly set about commercializing the cave, opening it to the public in 1918. Despite their efforts, the cave's remote location hindered its success, failing to attract the number of visitors they had hoped for. Undeterred, Floyd's ambition to find a profitable cave continued to drive him. His quest led him to Sand Cave, a small cave on his neighbor's property, which he believed could be developed into a lucrative tourist attraction due to its proximity to the main roads. In January 1925, with a mixture of hope and determination, Floyd embarked on what would be his last exploration. As Floyd delved into the narrow passages of Sand Cave, he was unaware that this expedition would etch his name in history, not for the discovery of a new tourist haven, but for a tragedy that would capture the nation's attention. As we delve into the days of his entrapment, we find a saga that resonates with the themes of resilience, hope, and the unyielding will to survive against all odds. On January 30th, 1925, Floyd Collins, armed with nothing but a kerosene lantern and a heart full of hope, ventured into the unassuming maw of Sand Cave. It was an exploration driven by ambition, a quest to unveil a hidden chamber that might turn his fortunes. Yet, unknown to Floyd, this journey would etch a harrowing chapter in the records of cave exploration. As Floyd navigated the cave's confining passageways, he was a picture of determination, inching through spaces so tight he could barely breathe. In the cave's oppressive silence, his lantern flickered, a fragile sentinel against the engulfing darkness. The cave began to reveal its secrets, opening into larger chambers, yet fate had a cruel twist in store. As Floyd retraced his path, a misstep caused a 27-pound rock to shift, trapping his leg in a vice-like grip. In a desperate struggle to free himself, he only succeeded in burying his lower half under rubble. It was the beginning of a story that would test the limits of human endurance. The morning of January 31st dawned with an ominous silence on the Collins farm. The realization that Floyd had not returned set a wave of panic in motion. Neighbors, sensing Floyd was gone, discovered his coat outside Sand Cave and embarked on a search that would lead them to a discovery both shocking and heart-wrenching. Jewel Estes, a young boy who could fit into the cave, was the first to make voice contact with Floyd, confirming the fears of all. Floyd Collins, the seasoned caver, was trapped deep beneath Earth's surface with nothing but hope. Floyd's brothers, Homer and Marshall, joined the rescue efforts, their faces etched with concern and determination. They attempted to dig Floyd free, but the cave, with its narrow, winding passageways, was unforgiving. The rescue attempts were chaotic, lacking leadership and a coherent plan. Volunteers, overwhelmed by the cave's oppressive darkness and the daunting task, left food and drink in crevices, never reaching Floyd. By February 2nd, the plight of Floyd Collins had captured the region's attention. News spread rapidly, drawing the attention of William Skeets Miller, a journalist from the Louisville Courier-Journal. Skeets, small in stature but large in spirit, descended into the cave, initially seeking a story but soon finding himself an integral part of the rescue effort. The rescue scene outside Sand Cave began to resemble a makeshift camp, with tents for food and first aid. The efforts to free Floyd were relentless but fraught with setbacks. Lieutenant Robert Burden of the Special Police Fire Rescue Team attempted to extricate Floyd using a chest harness, a painful and ultimately unsuccessful endeavor. Tensions ran high as differing opinions on how to proceed led to heated exchanges. February 3rd saw Floyd Collins become a national news sensation. The rescue attempts were now a battle against time, with each passing hour diminishing Floyd's chances of survival. Skeets Miller, along with other volunteers, rigged a makeshift electrical line, bringing light and a semblance of warmth to Floyd in his dark prison. As the rescue efforts continued, the cave began to show signs of instability. The constant traffic of rescuers and the cave's fragile structure raised fears of a collapse. In the early hours of February 4th, these fears materialized. A cave collapse cut off access to Floyd, turning a rescue operation into a race against time and nature. The once hopeful scene at Sand Cave had transformed into a tableau of desperation and despair. The community, united in their efforts to save Floyd, faced an agonizing reality. The man who had ventured into the cave seeking fortune was now a prisoner of the very earth he sought to conquer. As the days passed, the nation watched, holding its breath, as the struggle to save Floyd Collins continued against seemingly unbeatable odds. The 4th of February, 1925, dawned with an ominous cloud over Sand Cave. The cave-in had dramatically altered the rescue operation's course, transforming it into a perilous race against time. Floyd Collins, trapped and alone, became a symbol of human vulnerability against the relentless forces of nature. The cave collapse had effectively sealed Floyd's fate, cutting him off from direct aid. Despite this setback, the rescue team, led by the steadfast John Gerald, Floyd's caving companion, and Henry St. George Tucker Carmichael, a superintendent from the Kentucky Rock Asphalt Company, refused to give up. They began an arduous task of digging through the collapsed passage, hoping against hope to reach Floyd. As the news of Floyd's plight spread, it captured the nation's imagination. The area outside Sand Cave swelled with thousands of spectators, drawn by a mix of curiosity and concern. The atmosphere took on an almost carnival-like festivity, with vendors selling food and souvenirs. Amid this chaotic backdrop, the rescuers continued their grim task. The rescue efforts were met with challenges. The unstable cave passageways, compounded by rain and a midwinter thaw, made the operation increasingly dangerous. Despite these obstacles, the rescue team worked tirelessly. On February 5th, the governor of Kentucky, William J. Fields, recognizing the gravity of the situation, placed National Guard Brigadier General Henry Denhart in command of the rescue operation. Engineer Henry Carmichael supervised the creation of a 6x6 vertical shaft to reach Floyd, a daunting task given the limitations imposed. No drills, dynamite, or power shovels could be used, for fear of causing further collapses. The days that followed saw a hive of activity around Sand Cave. The rescue shaft, dug by hand, progressed slowly, hindered by rocky soil and adverse weather. The laborious process, a race against the clock, was a grueling ordeal for the workers, who battled exhaustion and the elements. Meanwhile, the media frenzy surrounding Floyd's predicament intensified. Rumors and speculation ran rampant, with some suggesting the entire episode was a hoax to attract tourists to the area. The sensationalism reached its peak when accusations of criminal negligence and deliberate harm to Floyd began to circulate. A military court of inquiry was convened to investigate these claims, adding a layer of drama to an already tense situation. As the days passed, Floyd's condition deteriorated. He had been trapped for over a week, without food and with minimal water. The rescue shaft, though slowly progressing, seemed to be a race against an inevitable, tragic outcome. On February 12th, after 13 grueling days, the shaft had reached a depth of 48 feet. The sides required constant shoring to prevent collapse, and the rescuers' spirits ebbed with each passing hour. The enormity of the task at hand and the diminishing chances of saving Floyd weighed heavily on everyone involved. Finally, on the night of February 15th, the lateral tunnel neared its completion, bringing a glimmer of hope to the weary rescue team. Yet, as dawn broke on February 16th, that hope was extinguished. The rescuers broke through to a sand cave passage, only to find Floyd Collins dead. The cause of death was determined to be exposure, exhaustion, and starvation. The decision was made to leave his body in sand cave and abandon the shaft, which was now dangerously unstable. The tragic end of Floyd Collins was a sobering conclusion to a saga that had gripped the nation. The man who had ventured into sand cave with dreams of discovery and fortune had met a fate that highlighted the unpredictable and often perilous nature of cave exploration. His story, a reminder of the thin line between ambition and catastrophe, left an indelible mark on the hearts of those who followed his ordeal and on the history of exploring. In the aftermath of the tragic death of Floyd Collins, the nation grappled with a profound sense of loss and reflection. The story of a man's unyielding passion for cave exploration and his subsequent entrapment in the bowels of the earth had captivated millions, leaving behind a legacy that would resonate through the records of exploring and beyond. The immediate aftermath saw Sand Cave transformed from a site of intense rescue efforts into a solemn monument to human bravery and perseverance. Collins's remains were initially left within the cave, the very place that had been both his passion and his final resting place. It was only months later that his body was recovered and given a formal burial near his family's home, close to the Great Crystal Cave, a site of his earlier triumphs. The impact of Collins's story extended far beyond the boundaries of Kentucky's cave country. His ordeal brought about significant changes in cave safety and rescue techniques, serving as an important lesson in the risks inherent in exploring. The media coverage of the rescue efforts, one of the first major news stories broadcast via radio, also marked a turning point in journalism, showcasing the power of the media to capture and convey human interest stories to a wide audience. Floyd Collins' story transcended the tragic circumstances of his death, inspiring various forms of artistic and cultural expression. His life and ordeal were the subject of books, documentaries, and even a musical titled Floyd Collins by Adam Guettel and Tina Landau. The 1951 film Ace in the Hole further immortalized his story, reflecting the media frenzy and public fascination surrounding his plight. One of the most significant impacts of Floyd Collins' story was on the Mammoth Cave region itself. The attention drawn to the area's extensive cave systems played a crucial role in the establishment of the Mammoth Cave National Park in 1941. This designation not only protected the natural wonder, but also ensured that the caves would be explored and appreciated by future generations in a safe and sustainable manner. Floyd Collins' adventures and discoveries in the cave systems of Kentucky also contributed to the scientific understanding of the region. His explorations, which included the discovery of the Great Crystal Cave and other significant caves, added to the knowledge of Kentucky's geological and speleological richness. His legacy in this regard is seen in the continued study and exploration of these caves, which remain a source of wonder and scientific inquiry. Moreover, Collins's story has served as a source of inspiration for cave explorers and adventurers worldwide. His passion for exploration, his determination in the face of daunting challenges, and his ultimate sacrifice underscore the human spirit's relentless pursuit of discovery and the exploration of the unknown. Today, Floyd Collins is remembered not just as a caver who met a tragic end, but as a symbol of human aspiration and the eternal quest for knowledge. The story of his life and death continues to be told, a narrative that resonates with themes of adventure, perseverance, and the delicate balance between human ambition and the forces of nature.